What if I told you that confidence only comes from scared action? Would you still want it? I have done so many things that have made me scared. I've forced myself to push past that fear and achieve, and as a result, become confident. And so can you. In this video, I'm going to tell you just how to do that. As I said, I have achieved a lot and I've been scared a lot, and I am such a wimp and a worrywart. I have had my commercial pilot's license. I have written and published a book, and I am now training to be a heavy duty mechanic. I work with all men. I'm the only woman on my crew, and I'm scared. I'm so scared that just this past week at work, I cried in front of my mentor, a journeyman mechanic who I felt was so brilliant. He is so brilliant. I have so much to learn from him. But I felt like he was starting to get impatient with me and frustrated with me. And I broke down. I tried to hide it. Here I am in the under the floor of a dozer cab, a D10, if you know what that is. It's smaller than I usually work on, which is a D11. I'm in a small space, and he's telling me to do some electrical troubleshooting on a light that's not working. This is an aftermarket light, so as I've been trying to learn electrical schematics, there was nothing available to me. He said to me, "This is your job, and you're going to do it." So I said, "Yes, let's go for it. I want to do it." And as I got in there to try, I felt overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed. I was in such a small, dirty space. I don't mind getting dirty, but it was such a small space. I couldn't see what I was doing. As I'm getting older, my vision has changed, so I'm wearing safety glasses that have readers in them. And, so I'm like in a small space. I'm trying to reach in, find the problem with the wire, and I can't see. Like, I can't see what I'm doing. I have custom made earplugs. One fell out and I lost it. Still didn't find it. But I thought, heck with it. I'm going to do this. And hours into it, which is when he started seemingly becoming frustrated with me, he asked me, "So, what's your stress level?" That is when I broke down. I was containing that stress and I hid away underneath and I held back the tears and I was like, I can't cry in front of him. I cannot do this. I don't normally cry at work, but I felt like I was losing his respect. And that is what upset me the most. And like I said, it was taking a long time. But he said to me, "Do you want to continue? I can do this if you want, or you can continue." And he has noticed now the tears, and I said, "I'm going to continue this." And I felt this almost anger bubbling up inside me, just the frustration with myself. I said, "I want to do this." He said, "Okay, then do it." So little by little, I tested this wire that was out of the way. Um, this was actually an ongoing problem with this dozer. The light hadn't been working for a month. And going back in the history, there was numerous journeyman mechanics who could not resolve this problem. And I'm just getting started at this. I'm only 2.5 years into this. And I was determined. So little by little testing it, and I'm new to, especially electrical troubleshooting. And I did it. It took me probably 6 hours, a lot of sweat and tears, no blood, thankfully. Um, but I did it. I found the problem. I had to strip away this wire that was almost impossible to reach. And I had to cut zip ties. I had to poke and prod at this wire with my voltmeter and my test light. And I found the problem. And I resolved the problem. And he said to me afterwards, "Do you realize this is your turning point? This is probably the biggest accomplishment of your career. You did something that who knows how many journeymen have tried in this past month to find the problem, and they didn't." And that felt wonderful. But I was scared. I was frustrated. But I did it. But then reflecting on it later that day, I I felt a low point because I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed that I cried in front of him. So it didn't feel that great in the moment. But confidence is not just a steady high. It doesn't happen and then everything is wonderful. It's highs and lows, and you need to reflect on your progress that you've made. You need to persevere. And that's what he said to me. After it was all said and done, hours later, he said to me, "Perseverance pays off, doesn't it?" And it certainly does. All the times, it was years ago, but when I was getting my pilot's license, it was hard. I was scared. I had highs and lows and highs and lows. And but look at the trajectory where you are now, what you've overcome. You got to focus on your highs, not your lows. Do it scared. Do it scared. And you'll just amaze yourself. You really will. And, I kind of wondered as I'm doing this video, am I going to break down and cry like I did that day, not too long ago? But I'm not going to cry because I feel stronger. And it was in that moment of with this lack of confidence and proving to myself that I could do it, that I gained so much confidence from it. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be at work or at home life and feel insecure and like I'm a failure. Just making these videos, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm learning as I'm going, and I probably suck. Like I suck at a lot of things, even at work. But you make progress one step at a time. That is how you grow. That's how you learn. And that's how you become confident. I hope I didn't bore you and resonate. I hope I resonated confidence within you. I want to instill that in you. It's not just thinking confidence. You need to act, and you need to act scared. Go ahead, do something. Do something small that makes you scared. You got this. I know you do. See you in the next video.